Hot damn, Ace. It's that super fast guy from Central City.
The Flash. He'll take care of this clown.
Here we go!
But first, I'd like to say a few words about
The Flash, one of the oldest superheroes in existence, has thrived for over 70 years. In a world of thousands of comic book characters with an unlimited variety of powers, what has made a guy in a red suit that runs really fast remain one of the most popular and groundbreaking superheroes in comic book history? And how does he relate to the world today? The answers are both surprisingly simple and fascinatingly complex. In today's episode, we will explore the more intricate side of the Scarlet Speedster's enduring popularity. But the surprisingly simple answer: speed. Have you ever run late for a bus, class, work? How about a meeting? What if you could effortlessly transport yourself to any destination of your choice in a fraction of a second? Well, that's what the Flash can do. The Flash doesn't sit in traffic jams during the morning rush. He can get from Metropolis to Paris in less time than we can sip our last drop of morning coffee. Super speed is what's attracted generation after generation of comic book fans to the adventures of the fastest man alive. How does this 70-year-old superhero embody the world as it is today? Well, just look around. Today's world moves at a pace unthinkable when the Flash was first introduced in 1940. Instant gratification is what we've come to expect. Isn't the super speeding Flash the perfect superhero for today's fast-paced lifestyle? The dawn of the golden age of comics began with the runaway popularity of Superman and Batman. Artists, writers, and publishers were all looking to succeed in this exploding new medium of superhero comics. Titles featuring new characters with amazing powers were hitting newsstands every month as publishers hoped to strike it rich with the next big hit. One idea was to create a fleet-footed hero whose design and powers were based on the Greek and Roman gods, Mercury and Hermes. While the exact details of the creation of the Flash may be lost to history, the result was Flash Comics #1, arriving in January 1940, written by Gardner Fox and drawn by Harry Lampert. The issue told the story of Jay Garrick, a slow-footed college student who, after collapsing in a lab accident and inhaling hard water vapors, gains super speed powers and makes the choice to use his newfound abilities to fight crime. Flash Comics was an instant hit with readers, and in less than 2 years, The Flash was starring in a total of 4 titles, which is a feat that neither the characters of Superman or Batman could claim. The Flash enjoyed incredible popularity throughout the golden age of comics, when both servicemen fighting abroad, as well as millions of children back home, thrilled to the adventures of their favorite superheroes. However, this need for escape from the trials of war that these heroes provided began to dissipate following the Allies' victory in World War II, and the sales of superhero comic books began a steady decline. It seemed the Flash had run his last race when he made his final appearance in an issue of All-Star Comics in 1951. By the mid-1950s, only a handful of superheroes continued to be featured in comic books, but the brass at DC had taken note of the massive popularity of the Superman television series and set out to revive the superhero genre in their comic book line, and editor Julius Schwartz leading the charge. Recalling these events, Schwartz would say, "Someone at the editorial meeting suggested, say, why don't we put out The Flash again?" They said, "Okay, that's a good idea. who's gonna edit The Flash? Everyone looked at me. I could have continued The Flash as it appeared in the 40s, or I could have done a variation, something different. I had to put out a magazine with a costume character who was Speedy, and that's all I kept. Everything else I changed. Schwartz tasked visionary artist Carmine Infantino with creating a totally new look for The Flash. The artist responded with a sleek new design that threw away the mythological elements of the Golden Age character, and provided the new Flash a bright red suit with a mask to disguise his secret identity, and a striking yellow and white lightning emblem emblazoned on the chest. A bolt of lightning shattered a cabinet of chemicals, changing police scientist Barry Allen into the fastest man alive, the Flash. Showcase Comics number 4 provided the origin story of this updated Scarlet Speedster in the book's opening panels. While working late at night in his lab, Barry Allen is doused in a bath of electrified chemicals. Instead of harming him, this accident provided Barry with the gift of super speed. Inspired by his favorite fictional comic book character, the Jay Garrick Flash of the Golden Age, Allen would don a gleaming red costume and assume the mantle of the Flash.
That's the way to nail a crook.
Barry Allen was the embodiment of an ideal, hard-working, intelligent American man of the 1950s. He had the blonde buzz cut and all-American good looks of baseball star Mickey Mantle. Yet he wore the white lab coat that called to mind the man known as the Miracle Worker, research scientist Jonas Salk, an international hero of the era for curing the dreaded disease polio. Barry's only apparent character flaw seemed to be his habit of running late, a trait that Barry would use to conceal his secret identity. No one would suspect a slow, brainy guy who dealt with test tubes to be a crime-fighting speedster. Meanwhile, Barry would use his cover as a Central City police scientist to listen for news of criminal activity on his police band radio, and then race to the scene of the crime in a flash.
Where'd you get this suit? I happen to like red.
As Barry Allen became familiar with his miraculous new abilities, he found that he could do far more than get from place to place in an instant. By running or rotating his arms at incredible speeds, he could create a tornado effect to take down his criminal foes. He could also move so quickly around water and fire that he had the ability to manipulate these elemental forces to his advantage. The Flash's powers would not be limited by the third of the Earth that is covered by land. He could travel on water as well. While the Flash could not fly, he ran so fast that he can climb the sides of any surface, and he has saved himself from perilous falls and many adventures with his ability to create a whirlwind with his arms. He can even pulsate his body particles so quickly that he can vibrate through walls. Eventually, the Flash would perfect this ability and vibrate at such a rapid pace that he could travel through time and through other dimensions.
Flash was just a man.
But not to these people, especially the younger ones. He's a hero.
Barry Allen would not use these wondrous powers for personal gain. He used them to protect the innocent and battle an assortment of craven criminals in the name of justice. The Flash would need every one of his amazing abilities to take on a colorful and unique group of enemies. The Heavy with a Heart of Frost.
A frigid Captain Cold.
The Corrupt Controller of Climates.
You may call me the Weather Wizard.
The Precarious Prankster known as
The Trickster.
the Repugnant Distorter of Reflections.
It's time for the Mirror Master to get to work.
The Murderous Marksman from Down Under.
Captain Boomerang here.
These atrocious adversaries would team up as the members of the infamous Rogues Gallery to use the combined force of their terrible talents in an attempt to put an end to their common enemy, the Flash. And in addition to this society of scoundrels, the Flash would face an assortment of other ferocious foes. the abominable abracadabra.
Too bad you can't put everything into one magic word, like abracadabra!
The super intelligent simian, manipulator of minds.
Rod, the gorilla.
There's a gorilla on the loose!
I have a city to destroy.
And his most loathsome enemy, the Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom.
Zoom, what do you say? One last dance?
I'm quaking in my bright red booties.
I'm the Flash. Speed is my game.
Don't ever mess with my Iris.
Got the champ, Ted Wildcat Grant, solidly ahead on point.
Hello.
Hello, Barry?
Iris, I thought you had to work tonight.
I do, but I wanted to tell you how much I miss you. You have no idea.
Come on, how could you miss me? I mean, you're in Las Vegas, interviewing all those singers and movie stars. It's the fast lane.
There are lots of potholes in that lane, let me tell you.
Iris? Iris! Iris!
Barry Allen's attempts at punctuality were typically foiled by an emergency encountered by the Flash. These late arrivals provided his girlfriend, investigative reporter Iris West, with many opportunities to tease him about his tendency toward tardiness. Despite these gentle reprimands, Barry and Iris would enjoy something unique in the world of superheroes: a healthy and stable relationship. Unlike Clark Kent with his unrequited longings for Lois Lane,
Lois, I was wondering if maybe you'd like to have a little dinner with me.
Oh gosh, Clark, I'm sorry, I'm booked.
or the terminally lonely Avenger Batman.
I haven't had that much luck with women.
The Flash was lucky in love. He would become one of the first comic book superheroes to get married, and Iris would be the anchor that steadied Barry through as many adventures as the Flash.
Ta-da!
The Flash would soon become a founding member of the world's greatest superhero team, the Justice League of America, consisting of the preeminent superheroes of the DC Universe. The Justice League was formed to confront precarious menaces that the team's respective members could not handle alone. In the inaugural adventure of the Justice League, these remarkable heroes teamed up and applied their individual powers in the united cause to defeat a strange alien threat. The triumph of this first mission demonstrated what these illustrious associates could accomplish with their combined abilities. This inspired the members of the Justice League to band together to face the world's most perilous challenges through countless amazing adventures.
No sign of any other ships in our star system. Earth is safe again.
Give me 5, big guy. Too slow.
Seeing DC Comics' greatest champions battling side by side helped spark one of the great debates among comic fans. Who would win in a race? Superman or the Flash?
The first man to circle the globe 100 times will be declared the fastest man alive.
The Man of Steel and the Scarlet Speedster would face off in friendly competitions in the ensuing years to determine who would hold the title of the swiftest superhero. While the first few matches resulted in a tie, eventually the Flash would come to prevail in these contests, proving that he truly was the fastest man, or Kryptonian, alive. The Flash was running at the head of the superhero pack. In addition to his electrifying exploits with the Man of Steel, Barry Allen would strike up a friendship with another Justice League colleague, Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern. These compatible compatriots engaged in thrilling escapades, as the Flash and Green Lantern, and they also socialized outside their roles as costume crime fighters. Occasionally, they would even take time from their hectic superhero schedules to enjoy double dates with their significant others. Good fortune was becoming a way of life for the fastest man alive. In recognition of his courageous deeds protecting the citizens of Central City, the Flash was honored by his hometown with a museum that celebrated his valiant feats.
For his great help reducing crime in Central City, I proclaim this Flash Appreciation Day.
Nice slacks.
Barry Allen's idyllic existence as the fastest man alive was at its apex. However, the fortunes of the Flash would take a dramatic turn when his most appalling adversary, Professor Zoom, seemingly murdered Barry's beloved wife Iris. The plight of the Flash continued to deteriorate when he accidentally snapped Professor Zoom's neck and killed him during a high-speed chase as he attempted to bring this detestable murderer to justice. Despite the accidental nature of Zoom's death, the Flash was subjected to a protracted trial for manslaughter. Although he was found innocent, Barry decided to leave his calling as a costume crime fighter behind. He used his super speed powers to travel to the future, where his wife Iris had been miraculously transported before her apparent murder. One would think that Barry had done his part protecting the world from the brink of disaster countless times, and deserved a tranquil retreat into the sunset. Yet, his peaceful retirement would come to an abrupt end when he was forced back into battle to face the most unimaginable evil that the universe had ever encountered. In the epic saga, Crisis on Infinite Earths, the world's most indomitable champions were forced to face an evil unlike anything they had ever encountered. The adversary that they confronted was no mere twisted wretch that aspired to reign over the underworld, nor a deranged and despotic maniac seeking to petrify the planet. The source of this struggle was an entity of pure, unadulterated evil. This monstrous, godlike being, whose goal was the absolute obliteration of the entirety of existence, was known as the Anti-Monitor. Gallant heroes from throughout the universe managed to keep the Anti-Monitor and his minions at bay. Yet there was supreme devastation and crushing casualties throughout these catastrophic battles. During the onset of the conflict, the retired Barry Allen witnessed this encroaching decimation from his home in the future. Barry raced back through time to assist his courageous associates in this emerging catastrophe. The Anti-Monitor realized the Flash's ability to transverse universes without restraint was a considerable threat to his sinister strategy of annihilation. He captured, imprisoned, and tortured the Scarlet Speedster, and believed that a potential obstacle to his dreadful designs had been eliminated. But the Anti-Monitor had greatly underestimated the resourcefulness of the fastest man alive. The Flash escaped, swiftly dispatched the Anti-Monitor's legion of guards, and then took on the task of destroying the Tyrant's most destructive weapon, the Anti-Matter Cannon. The firing of the Anti-Matter Cannon was to be the apex of the Anti-Monitor's apocalyptic intention to eradicate all of existence. Realizing that he was the only hope to avert this impending Armageddon, Barry pushed himself beyond the peak of his super speed abilities, and succeeded in destroying this devastating device. Yet, this victory came at a grave cost. The Flash disintegrated as he pushed his powers beyond their limits. Barry Allen made a dramatic return, but not to the pages of comic books. Instead, Barry Allen became the lead character in a live-action primetime television adaptation of The Flash. While this television show would become The Flash's highest profile appearance yet, he'd shown up on the small screen several times in the past.
Well, at least I got to be on TV, and you know how much I like that.
The Scarlet Speedster's television debut was in the 1967 Superman Aquaman Hour of Adventure show, in segments that also featured the Justice League. He was next featured in the immensely popular Super Friends Saturday morning cartoon series, a light-hearted adaptation of the Justice League comic.
Wings of Mercury! I've got to stop that falling building before it shatters into a million pieces!
Popular villains from Flash comic books were spotlighted on the show as well. The Flash made his first live-action appearance in the primetime special,
Legends of the Superheroes.
Produced to capitalize on the popularity of the Super Friends Saturday morning cartoon, these shows were an eccentric mix of comedy and action. Yet, they are fondly remembered by many fans for the accuracy of the makeup and costumes. Legends of the Superheroes is now considered something of a quirky cult classic.
The secret's locked inside my super mind!
When the Fastest Man Alive made his next live-action television appearance, it was not as a supporting character in an outlandish variety special. The Flash had finally made the big time in Hollywood with a big-budget primetime series. The blockbuster Batman film was a huge influence on many aspects of the Flash series. The lighting choices, set, and costume design were among the elements inspired by the movie version of the Caped Crusader. Unfortunately, the Flash television series faced off in a battle that would make a fight against the Rogues seem like a day at the beach. The program aired in direct competition with two of the biggest hits on television, and despite favorable feedback, The Flash only lasted one season.
Too quick for you? Let's try the freeze frame.
This live-action depiction gained many admirers for its exciting plots, special effects, and the guest appearances from some of the Flash's most prominent comic book villains.
You ordered some ice?
The Flash television show received a new life when the full first season was released on DVD, to the delight of the Fastest Man Alive's many enthusiasts. The next television appearance of the Scarlet Speedster was a guest appearance on the popular program Superman, the Animated Series, when he joined forces with the Man of Steel to take down the Wicked Weather Wizard. This cameo set the stage for his most prominent role in an animated series to date, when he was featured as a main character in the Cartoon Network's celebrated adaptation of the Justice League. He was the main source of comic relief for the group as they protected the planet from a variety of perils, but he was just as brave and heroic as his comic book counterpart. The Scarlet Speedster of the Justice League animated series established itself as one of the most beloved interpretations of the character in the hearts of Flash fans everywhere. The Flash followed up with guest appearances on such programs as The Batman, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and Young Justice. He's been prominently featured in Warner Premiere animated movies such as Justice League The New Frontier and Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. He's also been a playable character in many video game titles throughout the young history of the medium. Barry Allen made his astounding return to the comic world in the pages of the DC Universe's colossal crossover events, Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis. It is revealed that he was not in fact deceased, but had merged with the Speed Force, an energy field that provides the speedsters of the DC Universe with their powers. The mystery surrounding Barry's astonishing reemergence from the Speed Force was unveiled in the pages of Flash Rebirth by superstar creators Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver. It turned out that the person responsible for Barry's unexpected arrival was none other than Edwin Thawne, the Reverse Flash, Professor Zoom. With the help of his allies from throughout the DC Universe, Barry once again stymied Thawne's nefarious schemes. Barry once again became the fastest man alive, and appeared that his life had returned to the way it was before, when lightning struck again. Barry Allen became the catalyst for the events of Flashpoint, the most universe-shattering event to take place in the DC Universe in decades. The Flash was front and center during the event that would forever reshape the entire DC Universe. So where can you catch the Flash racing off to today? Well, you can pick up his exciting self-titled series, or read about his adventures with the Justice League and DC's thrilling new 52 line of comics by going to your favorite local comic shop or by downloading them to your phone or tablet. You can personally accompany the Flash on astonishing adventures by playing alongside him in the game DC Universe Online. You'll see him speed in for visits on television during the upcoming season of Young Justice. You can find all of his past appearances from television and animated movies on DVD, Blu-ray, or download at your favorite retailer or website. It appears that the only question left to ask is where will the fastest man alive run to next? For The Flash, the future is an open road.
Bye-bye.